Hey guys, it's Zeo here. Today we're going to be doing a speed cast that is 1.5 times speed. Let's set the speed right now to 1.5. Now this is going to be a small teams cast instead of doing a regular 1v1s. We're instead going to be doing a high level 2v2 between some really strong players. Let's jump into it.
Game started.
Alright, so we got Fiddler spawned as our light brown player on the top right hand side as our Cortex player, and his ally is Lovish, spawned as the actual brown player at the bottom right hand side, playing Armada. On the other side of things, we have Glass playing as our light green player, and they're playing Armada on the bottom bottom left hand side. And we have Apex spawned as their ally at the top left, playing Armada. Whatever color this is. It's like a whitish, bluish, light blue, I guess. The colors keep changing, so I believe the auto teams or whatever is probably set to off. But either way, these are players that are in the 40 OS range, the upper 40s for the most part. But yeah, it looks like we're going to be doing vehicles with Apex here. And he's going to be up against Fiddler, also doing vehicles, but from the Cortex side of things. We have some more vehicles from Lovish, and even more vehicles from Glass. So pure vehicles at this point. And this is flats and forests, so there's lots of reclaim to get. The wind speed is pretty low, but at the same time, it's still going to be more efficient in terms of resources than your typical solar. But the solars are going to be a little bit faster to build. So it's really up to these players if they want to do wind or solar, but I would think that over time they would be prioritizing winds. And if they really need energy, then they'll be building solars as needed. And that way, they're trying to spend more on winds, but also, getting solar when necessary. Bit of a scout here from Lovish, just poking around. Sees how Glass has built. Nice little central location with his commander, protecting a lot of things. But at the same time, there's only one scout out so far, just roaming around. Glass trying to do what he can to try to find it and destroy it, because that's going to be annoying if he does not. Light laser tower coming down for Glass as well, and he's just now building on his first construction turrets. Meanwhile, Lovish looking like, he's just getting his first nano as well. And yeah, already out expanding with his first con. Glass now sending this 2 across the map. It looks like he's going to be expanding in parallel, or not in parallel, but having 2 together to boost it so that it gets done faster. Meanwhile, Apex also building, also has plenty of constructors out. He's got 1 down here with these mexes, 1 up here for those mexes, and even 1 out in the center there. So relying a lot on these scouts and just getting up a lot of constructors here. And I think with that, he's going to be able to grow pretty quickly here, and while also applying quite a bit of pressure with all the scouts that he has out. So really good build order here from Apex, I feel. Just spending really well. Has a 3 solar opener, so it's a little bit quicker than perhaps his opponents have. Fiddler, meanwhile, look at all these solars. There's quite a few solars. Just now trying to go into wind, trying to build a nano, but unfortunately a little bit low on that metal, and also a little bit low on energy as well. So maybe not the best build order, but Fiddler here does have 3 cons out as well, so just really macro focused. Lovish here also has 3 cons out, expanding as well as his commander. So these players just really gearing up to expand rather quickly here. This is a wide open map. So things that are faster tend to be a little bit better, because then you can get places, hit various mexes, defend against various things. And then we'll move into like raiders that are a little bit slower but are able to pack a lot more punch. I think it'll be a little while before we see things like thugs, or see things like medium tanks even. Medium tanks are a little bit faster, but at the same time, they're not fast enough to catch up to blitzes. And so if there's a big wide open area for the blitzes to roam around, they can certainly get in and do a lot of damage if you don't have enough fast units to defend. These scouts here just continue looking around, trying to find some damage. Some more scouts coming in here. Going to find a mech, take that out. And then apparently stall here. Okay, they just get D-guns. D-guns all around. Fiddler just crushing the army there with all the D-guns. And yeah, he's got to feel pretty good about that. Big mistake from Apex, just losing those guys like that. You certainly don't want to throw away your first blitzes. And, you know, a lot of the time that means you're going to have to be a little bit more defensive after losing those units. But but Apex here, you know, still sitting on a lot of blitzes. So, you know, it looks like that little bit of lead that he had was kind of thrown away at this point because of that. But also not in a, you know, terribly bad position either. So, should be feeling pretty good despite that. Incisors now coming out for Fiddler, putting some pressure down in the, like, I guess, upper middle area. But there is a raid from Apex doing some damage. Gonna take out that con. That's kind of a big deal, but at the same time, you know, with so many cons out expanding, it's not the worst thing in the world. You can pretty easily get a con out there. It's not like a huge percentage of his income that's being denied because of that. But yeah, the incisors here get cleaned up for the most part, get pushed back by Apex, just having, you know, you know, more blitzes popping out from that factory. In fact, even has a lot of metal. I'm not 100% sure what all that's from. I suppose just like him expanding rather quickly. I don't think he has any like reclaim really going on at the moment. So just really nice macro, you know, big. Sorry, I'm missing some of the action. Some of the blitzes, you know, do get in the back here, do a bit of damage. Going to be able to take out a couple mexes. Even a self-D on the mex kills one of the... Well, actually, I think it just died. The self-D I don't think actually got off. But yeah, that's going to be cleaned up now. The con still remains, so not the biggest of damage, but it is annoying to have to rebuild those mexes. Meanwhile, he's also sent some blitzes down here in the center. And I apologize if you guys feel like I'm missing the stuff on the bottom side of things, but there hasn't been like a ton of stuff going on, just like little bits of, you know, blitzes fighting each other. You know, there's 3 players here with Armada, so it's a lot of blitz action, and I think that's a reasonable thing on this map because blitzes are faster than incisors. So, you know, with that, the blitz player is able to get places a little bit quicker than the incisor player, but the incisor player does have a bit more power behind it once they mass up enough incisors. So we're gonna have to just wait and see, you know, how these incisors ball up. A couple of medium tanks start coming out from Apex, so I guess feeling pretty good with the amount of blitzes that he has. Even has some more scouts coming back here. So yeah, this is gonna make it really challenging for Apex to defend this location up here, but at the same time, he's gonna have a nice frontal assault with these medium tanks and these Janus. And yeah, even some thugs coming out here. Fiddler having that forward bot lab. But yeah, I think this is a nice position for Apex with his commander here helping out. Going to be able to repair these medium tanks pretty easily. And these thugs actually have to backtrack to the base. You know, there's some medium tanks coming out now as well. So this is going to get pushed back. But there's plenty of reclaim here. And maybe Apex can kind of set up a bit of an outpost here. Oh, nice Janus shot there on these medium tanks. But yeah, there's a lot of reclaim here, so if he's able to like stabilize this position, it's going to be really, really nice for him. Meanwhile, at the bottom here, Lovish poking around as well. Medium tanks coming out for Lovish. Going to be attacking some of these light laser towers and denying some mexes. And I think Lovish doing a nice job just kind of like poke around, run into the army, decides to come back south and do some economic damage. And it looks like Glass a little bit out of position here, decides to, you know, send these 3 blitzes up here to take care of this medium tank, but also needs to worry about this bottom position here. Lots of blitzes trying to, you know, come over here to help out. And I don't know if there's really that many medium tanks here to, you know, like medium tanks, you want like a nice sizable ball of them. If you have too few of them, it's really easy for blitzes to be able to jump on them and do some nice damage. If they're not dealing enough damage back. You really want the big ball so that you have a substantial amount of DPS, so that you start destroying blitzes before they even get to the medium tanks, because the medium tanks have that extra range. Meanwhile, at the top here, looks like some more, you know, the Janus is continuing to do some nice work here on these thugs. And I think this is a tricky thing here with thugs. You know, you can poke in here, but you really need a sizable force to, again, do some damage, because a lot of those shots can miss. And if you're not DPSing stuff down, actually the commander's getting in trouble here. He goes for it. Looks like Fiddler going to take out the commander and the army here. So really nice job by Fiddler. He's going to be able to continue this push with all these medium tanks and incisors in tow. And now the wreck field goes to him. That commander very close to his base. So, you know, a play from Apex that maybe just didn't pan out. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of trouble here for Apex. He's going to have to stabilize somehow. He does have T2 out now. with these Jaguars roaming around. So maybe he can push back with that, because there isn't like that many medium tanks out here. So if he has enough of those Jaguars, he should be okay. Meanwhile, it looks like there are some defenses here from Lovish, just like trying to defend this region, like maybe a point for his army to run back to if necessary. But yeah, continues to expand, continues to put down more of these Dragon Claws. Dragon Claws being very, very efficient in terms of like how much hit points they have per cost, and you know they can repair pretty fast as well. So a pretty reasonable defense. They're really good against tanks actually. So a very reasonable thing to do to kind of help support the fact that this is just so far away from your main base. But yeah, we are gearing up for that T2 stage. We'd see some more Armada T2 vehicles with Jaguars, and you know, of course, the T2 cons are coming out to expand with as well. Over here, we do have a T2 vehicle lab for our Cortex player Fiddler, just now putting down a fusion. And actually, you see fusions quite often on this map as one of the first things you build as a T2 builder. And that really just has to do with how low the wind speed is. And you don't really want to like overspend on solar. You want to build exactly enough. And so fusions, when you have the abilities to start building those are a lot more efficient, and they give you that nice big chunk of energy once they're finished. So you know, with Fiddler here being a little bit low on energy, and now just finishing that fusion, he's going to feel pretty good about that. Now able to you know, take up or expand on his mexes a bit here. But yeah, Lovish Apex is you know, just cranking out a lot of Jaguars while he gets his T2 mexes online. He decided to go for the advanced solar routes instead of going for a fast fusion. And you know, I think this allows him to kind of, you know, spend maybe a little bit less and having just a little bit more energy income to start with, instead of doing this big fusion investments where he's putting a lot of metal into a building that over generates energy perhaps. But yeah, big engagement here against Fiddler. Apex doing what he can, but it looks like Fiddler's going to hold on to that base for now. Now remember that commander was basically eaten by Fiddler, so you know, Fiddler has the ability to like crank out some you know, quite a few units here, quite a few bots to upgrade stuff a little bit faster, and allow him, you know, that's going to allow him to have more economy in the long term as those get upgraded. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, on the bottom here, we do have some Mausers out here just kind of shelling the defenses of Lovish. I think this is a really nice play to just kind of, you know, do some damage for free, basically. There's not much that Lovish can do about this, so it's just like, you know, damage being rained on him from these Mausers from that distance. So you know, I think this is a really nice way to take down some of these defenses. There is a gauntlet, but I don't know. We'll just have to see if that gets taken out or if it's the Mausers that get taken out. Bulls join the party at the bottom here, kind of just pushing forward. There are some mines, actually, some light mines. I mean, mines are so good, so strong for how much they cost. The Bulls don't really care about the light mines. The light mines don't do enough damage, but if they're medium mines, you know, maybe they would need to run away a little bit more. But I suppose it is such a wide open area that it's hard to put medium mines like everywhere just because of the time it takes to do that. But yeah, this T1 army mixed with Jaguars going to be able to clean up these Bulls pretty nicely. The Bulls just, you know, they have that nice big heavy damage, but against split units like that, you know, the split units can really jump on them in an pretty efficient kind of way, just because of the slower attack from the Bulls. But yeah, Thugs are getting all the way over here into Apex's base. But yeah, the Bulls are looking like they're going to be able to clean this up pretty easily. And Apex actually sitting on quite a bit of metal at this point. Really needs to bump up his build power perhaps, just to be able to crank out the units. Now there is a sizable res field or res ball from Fiddler. I think just all that metal that he had up here warranted you know, having all those res bots. But yeah, with that he's going to be able to reclaim and resurrect pretty darn quickly. And yeah, it's starting to look pretty bad here for our left-hand side team, as these Bulls from Lovish have continued doing damage, and Lovish just doing a nice job of like poking around and not overcommitting. You know, starts seeing an army or starts, you know, seeing resistance in the slightest. Even if he can take that army, it's going to be better for him to just kind of pull back and see if he can do some more economic damage before even confronting that army. But yeah, Glass is kind of pulled in a lot of different directions here. All these units getting D-gunned. The D-guns are really nice from Glass here. But yeah, the full damage is really at the bottom here. The full story of just how Glass is kind of falling apart here to Lovish. Lovish being such a strong small teams player, actually just such a strong player in general, able to you know, macro up so quickly, so nicely with all these wind turbines, you know, having these fusions and things, even going towards T3 at this point, you know, with the sizable income that he has. It looks like even building some air for, you know, just in case bombers. And I wonder, you know, like looking at all these mexes, look, this is all the upgraded mexes. He's basically already upgraded everything. Meanwhile, Fiddler, you know, not quite as upgraded as Lovish is. So Lovish is finding that opportunity to upgrade even quicker, having more of those T2 bots out. But yeah, there's still some bulls roaming around here from Lovish, doing some massive damage to the bottom here. Now these can shark around like they don't even need to really commit. And then, you know, a player that attacks into them is likely going to have those fast units just go up there too quickly, and those slower units are a little bit too slow to join the fight if you do it so haphazardly. But yeah, there's a lot of bulls back here to potentially be resurrected at this point. So I don't know if Lovish is able to keep Glass away from that for a while. Like, he can continue to just grow and grow and grow, and then with these T3 units coming out, he can also support his ally here up here with Fiddler. So yeah, I think there's a really nice play from Lovish just to like keep these units alive at the bottom, keep that threat generated while also pressuring somewhere else. You know, as long as these units at the bottom left are still there, you know, Glass has to respect it. You know, regardless of if he's able to take them out or not, it's still like this area that he can't really just freely go to, like things like constructors. And it's really hard for Glass to, you know, just walk away with his units. He's going to have to keep something there to make sure that those units are, you know, accounted for. Lovish finds an angle here to do some damage to these bulls. But yeah, pretty much an even trade with even numbers of bulls on both sides. And yeah, it looks like Apex just gearing up to, you know, wanting to attack and do some things, but at the same time running into so much resistance. Lovish now adding on the pawn spam here to support his Razorbacks, and that's going to be a really nice addition here. You know, 90 DPS is still like a pretty big chunk of DPS, and then also to mention, like, there's the flanking bonus, so it's like up to 180% damage, or DPS I should say, from these pawns. So you know, able to just be in so many different locations. The spam is really nice to have. And yeah, these Razorbacks also able to just kind of deal it. And there's the GG. Team 1 throws in the towel here. Lovish and Fiddler take the win against Apex and Glass.
Battle ended.
Anyways, that was my first small teams cast in quite a while. I hope it was all right. Let me know in the comments what I can do to improve. Maybe you want me to pay attention to the base start I guess what's it called, I guess the opening from each player, to just see exactly how they're building stuff, or seeing how they're expanding a little bit more. You know, I tend to pay attention to the battles because that makes it a little bit more of a cast, and just like where units are moving and things like that. And it gets kind of tricky with 2v2 or you know, other small teams. So let me know if you think the 1.5 times speed is too fast, or if you think it's like nice and you know, well paced, or what. So give me some constructive criticism. I do plenty of other casts, mostly 1v1s, but I am going to be dipping into some small team casts as well on my channel here. And then there's also some slower pace, like, you know, for new players or for lower OS kind of things that are a little bit more geared towards analysis, a little bit more. You know, like, hey, you know, actually it's mostly just taking replays that people have submitted to the academy, to the mentors. You know, as the lead mentor, I help take those replays and either make videos or do some text reviews to help you guys learn. So you know, feel free to do that as well. You know, submit to there, check out those videos, etc. Anyways, I am Zeteo. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.